2020 Dems scramble to find negative spin on Trump's booming economy. As 2020 Democratic candidates ramp up their bids for the White House, many are attempting to place a negative spin on the current state of the economy under President Donald Trump. Despite the U.S. economy growing by 2.9% in 2018, as per the Bureau of Economic Analysis report, Senators Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders and former Representative Beto O'Rourke have claimed that workers are struggling in a historically low unemployment rate. But even though figures suggest the economy is poised for the most robust growth in 13 years, Democratic hopefuls having seemingly placed their negative narrative on it. They say, the economy is great, it is doing great for everybody. And then you ask them, well, how is that? Well, they'll point to the stock market. Well, that's fine if you own stocks. Then you ask them, what's your other measure? And they'll talk about, well, the unemployment rate is down. That's fine, Kamala Harris said. Yeah, well, I've been traveling our country. People are working. They're working 2 and 3 jobs to pay the bills. It's not working for working people, she added. Have your say dash? Hit the comments below. Harris has firmly placed her anti-Trump stance in her campaign strategy. Last month she said that the United States requires a president who knows how to prosecute President Donald Trump. But aside her from targeting the president, her other talking points are not backed up by data. Trending, IRS goes after Ocasio-Cortez for failure to pay tax on failed business venture. According to the Washington Post's fact-checker report, the numbers she uses to substantiate her claims of job decline don't add up. Out of 156 million people with jobs, 251,000 had 2 full-time jobs last month. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is a drop of nearly 100,000 such people compared to last year. Bernie Sanders, who is currently ahead of the polls, claimed that millions of Americans are forced to work at 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. But even though his claims are less off the mark than Harris, he skews data and ignores that millions of people who have more than one job are mostly working part-time rather than full-time. Just % of the total American workforce hold more than one job, something Sanders seemed to avoid saying. O'Rourke made a mistake similar to Harris and Sanders. I have already shared with you that many are working second or third jobs. In fact, in Texas, half of your colleagues are working a second or third job just to put food on the table, he said in Iowa last week. But according to the fact-checker, O'Rourke's claim was focusing on teachers rather than the general workforce. The 2020 hopeful seems to use a questionable self-selected survey from Texas that reported 39% of teachers to expect to take additional jobs outside the classroom to meet expenses. 71% of Americans say the nation's economy is in good shape, the highest share to say so since February 2001, and the best rating during Trump's presidency by 2 points. A majority give the president positive reviews for his handling of the nation's economy, 51% approve, and his overall approval rating has ticked up to 42% in the new poll. The 51% who say they disapprove of the president's job performance overall represent the lowest share to do so in CNN polling since the start of his presidency. Last month, Joe Biden criticized Trump's accelerated job growth and historic low unemployment, saying that America needs a moral economy. The calls for attacking a healthy economy seem to come from the increase of socialist candidates in the Democratic Party. The Democrats have settled on a consensus that argues that Trump's economic success is not being shared with others, another socialist perspective on Trump's success. If this is what the Democrats are using as the core strategy for 2020, then they may need a rethink. Neonedel.com web link.